Wrestling fans, Brian Blitz here, and welcome to another exciting edition of Superstars of the Ring here at ccwrestling.biz. Of course, joining me as always is my good buddy Craig Young. Craig, we're going to talk quite a bit in depth about Stampede as it's coming up here in just a few weeks. And
so much going on.
There's a lot going on. There's absolutely a lot going on, and most notably, of course, is the tag team situation right now in CCW. Of course, you do have the current CCW Tag Team Champions, Future Evolution, which is the future Jonathan Wells and Daniel Anderson. And should they retain the CCW Tag Team titles up to Stampede, they're going to be facing longtime rivals Mad Dog Miller and Rock and Roll Chris Turner.
Both guys, neither guys, strangers to the tag team division. Rock and Roll Chris Turner, multiple-time tag team champion. Mad Dog Miller, multiple-time tag team champion.
Now, let's talk a little bit more about the scenario. As you remember, the last time that Rock and Roll Chris Turner and Mad Dog Miller were the CCW champions, tag team champions, there was a bit of an incident where Mad Dog Miller was taken out of the equation, and of course, Rock and Roll Chris Turner had to name a replacement. And unfortunately, in that event, it was with Logan Stevens. Chris Turner and Logan Stevens did lose the tag team championships, but Mad Dog Miller was not a part of that match. So what's going to happen when he'll finally be able to tag with Chris Turner again as he takes on the CCW champions at Stampede?
Well, Mad Dog Miller injured by Julian Marcs, our champion Mayhem, put that whole tag situation kind of in some turmoil, especially Chris Turner having to go to a backup partner in Logan Stevens, who, not taking away anything from Logan Stevens, but when you get like a tandem working like you have between Turner and Mad Dog, it'll take away. You just can't get used to a brand new tag partner in a moment's notice. And Evolution took their opportunity. They took the tag team titles. Now, just saying, before Stampede, Future Evolution set up against the new tag team of Eric Moore and Shooter McGee.
That's absolutely correct. They have a big match coming up real soon.
Coming up in Abbeville, I believe, this Saturday.
Yep.
So the winner of that match is going to be in position to take on the guaranteed number one contenders of Mad Dog Miller and Chris Turner. And that whole dynamic, you could take out any of those tag teams out of those three, and you're going to have a phenomenal match. But I really want to see Mad Dog Miller and Chris Turner get their hands on Future Evolution.
Well, there's only one potential way to see it, and that, of course, is a Stampede. On that note, we certainly do want to wish Eric Moore and Shooter McGee the best of luck this weekend in Abbeville. So now we're going to move right along. All these scenarios may seem to play out as it relates to one other big event that's taking place at Stampede. As you know, the big annual Battle Royal.
Yep.
It's going to start at the beginning, it's going to lead off at the beginning of the show. And the winner of that match will get a championship title match later on in the evening. Now, as it stands right now, of course, you know, Mayhem Julian Marcs, the very hated Mayhem Julian Marcs, is the CCW champion. And should he be the champion on that night, everybody that's in that match is going to be competing for a shot at him.
You're right. You know, we just recently, Brian and I traveled all the live events, day in and day out here in Continental Championship Wrestling. There has never been a more, what word would I use? Just say how angry.
There are no words, Craig.
Our locker room wants Julian Marcs.
It's a family show, so keep it clean.
They're taking every opportunity to get their hands on Julian Marcs, and everybody wants a piece of him. And again, it's not so much the title anymore. At the moment, it's they want Julian Marcs.
It is absolutely true, and never was so more evident than the events that took place at the end of our match of the week this week. And we're going to go ahead and go to the action right now, where the machine, the legendary machine, Fred Avery, challenges Julian Marcs for the CCW Championship. But it's what happens after the match that really
and I'm going to have some
them.
words for that later.
On and on and on. The first time he's ever had a heavyweight championship title match here in Continental Championship Wrestling, and it is against our champion, Julian Marcs. And to add added pressure to the match, Fred Avery just announced that if he does not pin Julian Marcs, he will retire from professional wrestling. Brian Blitz, your thoughts on that?
Well, first of all, Craig, it is with reluctance that I must announce that, relax, not that, that Julian Marcs has from here on out demanded that we refer to him as Mayhem.
Mayhem.
Julian Marcs.
Well,
and rightfully so.
With any match involving our champ lately, it just turns into mayhem.
Well, it's not just the matches. And there you see he's already attacking the machine from behind and just terrorizing Fred Avery in the corner. But it's not just his matches. It's what he's done behind the scenes, in front of the scenes. He's run people over. He's thrown dolls away. I mean, he's beaten up every superstar from behind, mind you, over the last 2 years. It has just been a sick act of bullying and cowardice from time in and time out for the last 2 years, and it's nothing that's anything that's a champion should represent.
Brian, I know the history, and our fans, need to know the history of what's going on with Mayhem and our title, but I'm still in shock. If he does not pin the champ, he's going to retire. Could this be the last match of Fred Avery, the Machine?
No,
I don't want to see that.
Well, the inevitable may be coming true tonight, but keep in mind, too, that Fred Avery is definitely a 30-year-plus veteran. Think about this. What if he tonight hoists the CCW Championship? What if he becomes the CCW champion and actually pins Mayhem Marcs?
Then the implications for Stampede will be amazing, as Julian Marcs, Mayhem won't be in the championship match. He'll be in the Battle Royal, and everybody wants to get their hands on.
Well, let's go ahead and get on with the match right here. As you see, Fred Avery, he's a fun-loving guy, and you can see he's actually enjoying, kind of toying with Julian Marcs, even though he took the knee.
Wow!
And a nice hip toss there by Mayhem.
Oh, Mayhem with that hip toss. Fred Avery looks a little surprised.
Well, he's a little surprised and a little warm from that, but you know what? Fred Avery's a veteran, and he's taken a hip toss or two in his life.
But when's the last time you saw him take one with that much authority?
Well, you have me on that one.
And Mayhem's just mocking him. Mayhem's just mocking him here in the ring.
Mayhem mock somebody? No.
Well, Fred Avery is not a guy. Even at 52 years of age, he is still not a guy you want to take lightly in that ring.
Absolutely not.
I mean, a former member of the collective. Wow. Mayhem got him up for a body slam.
Scoop slam by Mayhem. Don't want to get his name wrong.
And he's making sure to let the fans know what he thinks. Wow.
Well, seeing as how this is a family show, I'm going to keep my thoughts on what I think about him, on the down low. The fact of the matter is he's definitely got Fred Avery's number right now. Avery able to recuperate and get back up. But Julian Marcs, each time, still puts him back down.
I think Fred Avery's still got some left in the tank. It looks like he's trying to shake off some cobwebs. I'm waiting to see Avery start throwing those bombs. That's what's gonna start turning the tide in this match.
More importantly, how about his well-known finisher, the hard punch? He's one hard punch away from becoming CCW champion. Think about that. Now you see him taking control on Julian Marcs. Fred Avery causing a little bit of mayhem on his own, and now Marcs retreating to the outside.
Fred Avery is a house of fire, a hip toss, an arm drag, and a huge body slam, and he carried him around the ring. Fred Avery is a strong man, too. Let's not forget, Fred Avery can easily bench. Is it run around in the locker room the other night, run around 350 to 400 pounds?
I don't watch men work out. I got to be honest with you, but I'll tell you right now, if I'm in the kind of shape he is when I'm 52, then I'll know I've lived a full life.
Wow, Fred Avery just relaxing on the top rope. Now he's mocking
He's mocking Mayhem Marcs now, yep.
But with Fred Avery being the veteran, is this maybe the right idea, or is he just, getting in the head of Julian Marcs?
I think Avery knows what he's doing. You notice he's still standing.
He is, in fact, still standing. And now we're circling again. Wow. Avery reminding wow.
You know what, Fred Avery taking a page out of Mayhem Marcs' book right there.
We just said his granddaddy will remind him of the butt whooping he's taken. Wow, Marcs, we were expecting a Queen's break, and he was not going to get it.
It doesn't matter. Fred Avery delivering those thunderous chops right to Julian Marcs' chest.
Wow, and Avery threw him across the ring.
By his beard.
Wow.
He outright grabbed Mayhem Marcs by his beard.
Marcs' beard does kind of look like another inch or two longer, doesn't it?
I think he pulled out a few too many hairs there.
Well, Mayhem stalking the ring here. I really don't think that the plan of Mayhem was to be thrown across the ring and that epic of format.
Well, let's not call a spade, Craig. You and I both know that the plan of Mayhem is to win at all costs and keep the CCW Championship. He doesn't care who it's against. He doesn't care what he has to do or he has to go through, even if it's a legend like Fred Avery.
Yeah, that's very true. And he wanted respect. And you know what the bad part about it is that him just being in the ring with Fred Avery would have been a matter of fact. Wow, Avery with a go-around.
Oh, good.
That amateur wrestling.
The amateur wrestling background of Fred Avery taking effect. And did you see Julian Marcs' head hit the canvas there?
I saw it. His head at the ropes. Avery was riding him around that ring. Is he standing on his head?
He's standing on his head, but Julian Marcs is wrapped up in the ropes. So Avery, of course, had to the count of 5, which he broke cleanly.
Hey, Avery is not above bending a few rules as far as you can break them.
Listen, you don't get to where he's at, for as long as he's been doing and not know a few of the ropes.
Avery,
no pun intended.
Avery going to work over the arm and wrist, waving to the crowd with it. He might just break it off. Is he biting him?
I didn't see anything. Listen, if the ref didn't see it, it didn't happen.
Oh, needs to be very careful. Julian Marcs, no slouch amateur wrestling, very quickly can roll this into a small package. But Avery standing firm, control, and kicking the exposed ribs of Julian Marcs. Mayhem.
Exposed right underneath that T-shirt, but there you see Fred Avery now has almost like a modified crossface on Mayhem Marcs.
And Avery's asking the crowd if they want to see a crossface. The crowd is all for it.
You're getting an argument from me.
Fred Avery, being the constant wrestling coach he is, he does a lot of local coaching in the Florida area.
Yes, he does.
That really is going not only old school, but going old technique on Mayhem. And I don't think Mayhem was ready to try to combat that. I think he thought Avery would kind of come in with the strength game swinging, and Avery is not only wrestling him, he's Greco-Roman wrestling him.
He's actually appears to be wearing Julian Marcs out as he has some sort of a pinning combination right here. Marcs able to get that shoulder up.
Close.
In amateur wrestling, that would have been a victory. It only is to a count of 1.
As I look around the crowd and see a lot of Fred Avery's students out in the crowd, the Warriors as they are, looking on and just shocking.
Now you see that Julian Marcs, excuse me for interrupting, now you see Julian Marcs is wrapped up in the ring.
Really, Marcs.
Fred broke clean.
Mayhem's only shot. Mayhem may want to roll the ring and try to recollect himself. Fred Avery is stalking Mayhem at this moment. The crowd is loving what they're seeing.
They should be loving what they're seeing, but keep in mind everything that's on the line right now. Fred Avery said at the top of the match that if he does not pin Julian Marcs, he will retire permanently from professional wrestling.
Wow. And you know what? And
so he's still got a lot to fight for tonight.
Mayhem, though, I think Fred Avery gave him a lot of time showboating because now he is all over the knee, and Avery's knee was already,
That is a surgically repaired knee, Craig.
It's surgically repaired. I'd spoken with Avery a little earlier tonight. It's cold weather. He said it was a little sore for him.
He gave you the time, huh? Well, good for you.
Fred Avery gave me the time. Fred Avery has been an amazing locker room leader to a lot of us here that have been around for many years.
He absolutely has. Right now, he's in a bit of trouble right now as Mayhem is continuously working on that leg.
Come on, Fred. We shouldn't be partial out here, but I don't want to see Fred Avery retire.
I'm not going to mince words, Craig. You know my feelings, and I will absolutely be partial. I'll still call a match and call it exactly what it is, but my feelings with Julian Marcs in our history aren't going to change.
That's true.
So
as we've heard on Superstars of the Ring, he's attacked everybody in the locker room.
Superstars of the Ring at ccwrestling.biz.
Yep, as you're watching here live, Blitz he's put you to the ground a couple times, and we've talked about that, and this matter of respect that he's trying to go off. And as I was trying to make the point earlier, just being in the ring with Fred Avery gains you respect. Avery is a legend in this business.
Yes, he is.
And the tactics that Mayhem has used once he's been in this ring, and just the disrespect that he show him.
You see right there, he continues to
What is ankle?
work on Fred Avery's ankle now, and he's got him wrapped up.
Avery's ankle.
Utilizing that count of the referees to his fullest advantage.
And it's, again, that's putting a lot of pressure on the knee. And that's, again, Mayhem is not taking his focus off that knee. But it's a little bit more once you're wrapping that knee around the top rope, or that bottom rope, excuse me, as he's trying to twist the ankle off also. Wow, did he just slap Avery across the face?
You want to talk about respect. There was absolutely none showed there.
That man is a legend in this business.
Continuously working on that leg. The more shots it takes, the more stretching, the more twisting, the more grinding that knee takes, it just tweaks those muscles and those tendons that much more.
Nope.
See, and there you see Fred Avery having a hard time.
Oh!
Oh, and I think the referee
Man,
took a little.
Oh, Avery would have saved himself, but it looks like the referee got crushed.
Listen,
And Avery
I've said it
did
once, the referee didn't see it. It didn't happen.
all the
Fred
referees.
Avery now with a hard charge.
Oh, big splash by Avery, and referee's down. We don't have a referee, Julian Marcs. Hard punch by Fred Avery.
Good grief, that was the hard punch I mentioned earlier. Fred Avery with a hard punch on Mayhem
Another ref.
and a nice up.
We need
And
another ref.
we have another referee coming out here.
1, 2, 3. We have a new champ. We have a new champion. Fred Avery just beat Julian Marcs for the CCW Championship. Fred Avery at 52 years of age. Wow, the battle wounds being shown. Look at his knee.
Ladies and gentlemen, the winner of the match and new CCW champion, the Machine, Fred Avery.
Wow, congratulations to Fred Avery. Julian Marcs finally dethroned. Stampede just... Wait a minute. Wait a minute. Wait a minute. The original referees isn't re-involved. What just happened here? What just happened here? Fred Avery, the referee just took the belt from Fred Avery. Wait a minute. What just happened here? What just happened? Just happened here? Julian Marcs is still the champ. The original referee came back into the ring.
Referee Jerome Jackson has informed me that due to a restart.
What are you doing?
By Fred Avery, the winner of the match and still CCW champion, Mayhem Marcs.
What are you doing?
You didn't even give me a chance to get out of the way. I'm going to watch this.
I am too. Right, wait. See, this is where we're sitting here ringside of this and watching this, and this is not fair. You know, Julian Marcs down on the mat. 1, 2, 3. A whole other referee comes in here at this.
He's really vocal about that, too.
Yeah, the other referee, Jackson's in here, is trying to get back in, and just...
Whoa. Craig, listen.
No. This is not fair. No,
Craig.
listen, no. The fans are watching this. The fans get to see exactly where we are. This is the second time we've gotten to see this because we're at the...
Let it go. what happened has happened, and we're going to have to move.
Fred Avery. No. Fred Avery gets one shot at a CCW championship in this company. Now, as everybody you've seen, when you lose in this company, you go to the back of the line. You don't get another shot. There's a huge difference in this company that if you lose by a disqualification where you can stay relevant as opposed to when you get beaten by the champ by a referee's decision. He should have been disqualified. The referee should have walked in, obviously upset that he'd been pushed around the ring, and just disqualified him. Instead, he turns around, gets back in the ring. Avery's not paying attention to everything. Marcs rolls him up, takes one from behind. How fair is that? How great is that as your champion in this company?
Well,
no wonder everybody keeps spilling out in the locker rooms at every show.
All right.
Everybody's running out to get a piece of him.
I want you to gather your thoughts for a second. Why don't you breathe a little bit, okay? Take a breath. It's easy to get angry at anything involving
It
Marcs.
is.
Nobody knows that better than me, but we are professionals, and let's keep it that way. Let's go ahead and move on a bit. We mentioned earlier on, we talked about a gentleman that's seemed to have formed an alliance with another gentleman, and we're talking about, of course, Eric Moore
And Shooter McGee.
Shooter McGee. They have quickly become really good friends and seem to have looked after one another's back on more than one occasion. Well, that plays into another big match that we have this week.
The Society of Sin.
The Society of Sin. You know, if one's around, no doubt the other one's not going to be too far behind.
You know, that's how Moore and Shooter got together, is because Eric Moore had a problem with the Society of Sin.
Absolutely.
And went to go find a partner to watch his own back.
And Shooter McGee definitely stepped up, and they've been watching each other's back really well ever since. Well, this week's big match, of course, is we're going to see Eric Moore taking on Peccavis in a very well fought contest. But the Society of Sin, being as unpredictable as they always are, you know, you can only imagine what's going to happen at the end.
Both newcomers are Continental Championship Wrestling. This match should be fantastic. Both the Society of Sin seem to have their issues with Eric Moore and Shooter McGee. And there's the bell. These two have been following each other all over Southeast in 2014. Eric Moore and the partner of Peccavis, Dante, recently met on a match on Continental Championship Wrestling Superstars of the Ring. You have to think somewhere down the road, McGee and Moore are going to get a tag match against the Society of Sin. Peccavis showing his wrestling ability with a beautiful snapmare and a kick straight to the back. Already on camera, we can see that where that boot connected right into the back of Eric Moore. Peccavis slowing this match down. Collar and elbow tie-up. Eric Moore into a headlock. Deep into the headlock. Takes the arm into an armbar. Moore again into another armbar as the referee's right there to check on him. And Moore is just... Wow, drops the elbow on that arm. Peccavis in a bad way, and I'm joined by Brian Blitz here at ringside.
Good evening, Craig. How are you doing today, sir? And hello to all my CCW wrestling fans.
Well, you picked a good time to show up in what has been a spectacular back-and-forth match as we see Moore continuing to stay on the arm of Peccavis.
Absolutely. He's definitely got control of Peccavis in this match. And let's go ahead and have you talked a little bit about the history of these two gentlemen?
I have discussed with the fans that they've had some interactions, the Society of Sin, and
quite some nasty ones at that.
Have. Eric Moore found a unique ally in Shooter McGee in our locker room.
Yes, he did. And, of course, as you know, Peccavis is beautiful spinning spine buster, first of all, by Eric Moore.
Shades of Arn Anderson. I'm surprised Peccavis kicked out. That drove all the wind out of him.
Of course, back to what I was saying, though. Of course, you know, Peccavis is aligned with a very mischievous and a very maniacal little Dante Steele.
Little Dante Steele, indeed.
And he may be little, but I'm going to tell you right now, every bit of that is just mean and nasty, and Eric Moore just took one to the breadbasket.
What a high clothesline. Eric Moore, I think, was going to try to go over the top with him with a cross body, and Peccavis kind of sidestepped and put a clothesline right into the exposed ribs of Moore.
It doesn't matter where he made contact. Contact was made, and Eric Moore was definitely the worst for wear on it.
Wow, there's those open hand chops right to the ear and neck of Moore. You can see Peccavis' hand. You're not seeing a closed fist. His hand is taped up almost into a chop-like grip.
Well, Peccavis is very unconventional with his methods, and
It's a
now he
brave
sends
man.
Moore.
Brave man from Saudi
Beautiful.
Arabia.
Pardon me. That one had me going. Beautiful spinning kick.
Oh! Wow.
Peccavis with a running rear end right to Eric Moore's. I'm not sure what he calls that, but Eric Moore, I think, is seeing stars now in the corner there.
Wow.
If there's one thing I can definitely say about Peccavis, two things actually. He's clearly one of the most unpredictable people, aligned with one of the most unpredictable groups in the history of the sport, but also intense.
Very intense.
Everything about him, about his matches, his interviews, everything he does is 100% intense.
Oh, Moore with reversal just on reflex and put a clothesline into him, trying to maybe shake it off a little bit. There's another big forearm into the chest of Peccavis.
Moore checking with the crowd, going to call for one more.
That could cost you later down the line, checking with the crowd.
Well, it seems to have Eric Moore in charge right now, and that's right where he should be. Beautiful flying splash by Eric Moore into the corner. Running
Wow.
Bulldog,
Running Bulldog, he needs to get into the pin.
and he knows to pull. See, that's what I'm talking about. He knew right then and there to pull Peccavis right back to the middle of the match. For a rookie, that kid has learned great from our CCW training center.
Hey, I've talked to Eric Moore before in the locker room. That kid will stop at nothing until he is the greatest. That is what that kid wants, is to be great.
He is absolutely a future champion. There's no doubt about it.
Setting up for a wow. Beautiful.
Thunderous
falling
suplex on Peccavis.
Wow. You know, as I'm looking at Peccavis and more quickly to the pin here, is going to get him, too. And I'm looking at Peccavis. You know, have you ever seen another wrestler wrestle with earrings in?
None that knew how to take care of their matches.
No. That's, you know, that's part of that Saudi Arabian history. Oh, more
I don't know if
going
it's
for the
Saudi
stunner.
Arabian, but it's definitely part of the unconventional nature of Peccavis. He does this.
Right there, that was the false prophet. He hit him with the false prophet, that flying headbutt into the ribs. I have watched Peccavis put away quite a few guys with that move.
Yeah, you may be right, but I'll tell you right now, Eric Moore is one red-blooded American man, and he did not fall to that false prophet.
You know, Moore kicked out. Wow, you can hear him hissing in the ring.
Now he's exposing that knee of Eric Moore. I'm not sure what he... Ooh.
Oh, wow. Fall away knee breaker. That, Brian, if you've never seen that move or been in that move, that takes
I'm not a wrestler, Craig.
all of your nerve endings from your knee to your foot, and it is like lightning hitting your knee.
Well, sure. What it does is it hyperextends the knee in such a manner that right at the last moment, all it does is send a shock straight back up the hyperextended knee. I can understand that the lightning hitting the knee would be a very, very strong analogy. That's a good point.
Wow.
And once again,
Third one, and he held on.
he's
Moore.
really working on Eric Moore's leg now.
I can't see more. He's biting him. Wow, the referee really needs to get in there on that.
Unconventional nature.
Moore was at one point was yelling, "Don't do it! Don't do it!"
Yeah, Peccavis is not the type of person that's really going to listen to what the referee says.
Oh.
Peccavis does things Peccavis' way.
Peccavis,
And his whole outlook is if you have sinned, he's going to let you know about it. But right now, Eric Moore, still managing to stay on that injured knee of his, has Peccavis where he wants him.
wow, Peccavis into the corner, and did he smash his elbow? Wow. Peccavis took a little bit too long. Went to go try to talk to the crowd and get the crowd.
There you hear Eric Moore solidly getting that crowd behind him.
Wow, Peccavis, the referee said the match can continue.
Oh! What was that?
Did you just spit green mist in his eyes?
Peccavis appears to have missed Eric Moore. He's blinded. Peccavis now just laying vicious shots on Eric Moore. Craig, it appears that the referee is going to be throwing this match out, but somebody needs to come out here and stop this.
Look at his eyes. Wow. Look at his eyes. Eric Moore took that green mist right in his eyes. I don't think he can see.
I think the referee is going to disqualify Peccavis.
And we got another referee to come out here and outback this.
The Peccavis appears to be that green mist. It's obvious how this match has ended. Peccavis is just calculating, cold, and uncaring.
Yes, he is. Eric Moore. Eric Moore is going to get the win by disqualification, but the bigger part of this story is, can he even see at this point?
Welcome back to Superstars of the Ring. Amazingly exciting match between Peccavis and Eric Moore. Now, just to update the fans, as you saw at the end of that match, Eric Moore did get that green mist into the eyes. Luckily, very quick to get back to our locker room to meet with one of our locker room doctors that got the green mist out of his eyes. Later in the night, was still kind of complaining a little bit of having some blurriness and vision issues. We saw him last night at a live event and seemed to be doing a lot better with lack of blurriness. So on the rebound, getting better.
You know, Craig, Eric Moore is an amazingly resilient kid, and on that note, I don't really think Peccavis got the best of him with that missed shot. It didn't look like he fully hit Eric Moore where he wanted to, and the unfortunate thing is, with the unpredictable nature of Peccavis, is, you know, he's liable to try it again.
The dangerous part is if he had got that miss into the eyes, that could have been the end of his career.
It's possible. It could have definitely been the end of his vision. Now, on next week's show, we mentioned earlier, we talked in great detail about their tag team partners, of course. Eric Moore's partner in Shooter McGee and the other Society of Sin member, Dante Steele. They're going to be taking on each other in another very brutal match.
Yeah, Steele has just, as you said, his mind has been poisoned, and you see it in his matches. You see it as we used to be very accessible where we could talk to him, be in interviews, and they don't want to talk to us.
Yeah, he has definitely eliminated the dragon from his whole persona, so to speak. And all that being said, there are also going to be big competitors in the big battle royal that's coming up. Stampede 2015 in Waycross, Georgia. It's going to be a phenomenal show, Craig. The big annual classic. And I'm going to lighten things up a little bit and ask you, who do you think, who's your pick to win?
Well, just before I even jump into that, is like, if you watch our Facebook page, all these interviews of all the superstars, everybody's saying they're going to win it this year. All the big names, they do. Everybody's very confident that they've got a shot at it, because really everybody wants not only 10 grand, but more importantly the championship, and even more importantly on top of that, they want a piece of Mayhem Julian Marcs.
Assuming he is still the champion.
Assuming he's still a champion. Logan Stevens has a match with him in Abbeville this Saturday night. That could change the entire landscape of Continental Championship Wrestling again. We could be seeing Julian Marcs in the Battle Royal, which that opens up fantastic possibilities of 19 other guys trying to get their hands on Julian Marcs.
It's certainly going to be another added motivation to any one of the superstars. You have a lot of folks that are going to be in this match. Mad Dog Miller, Rock and Roll Chris. You know what? Like I said earlier, who would be your pick to win? Who do you think?
From my experience as somebody that's participated in battle royals, that's been outside the ring, I've called dozens over my career. I would normally tell you I'm going to go with the biggest man in the battle royal.
Fair statement.
Only because the height, the weight, and just so many people have to gang up on the taller guys in these competitions to get them out of the ring, that they have the advantage. You know, they can toss guys out easily one by one, instead of having 5 guys trying to toss one guy in the ring. Mm-hmm. So my pick for this year, the Revelator Kevin Toole. That's my choice on record.
That's actually a really good guess. I don't necessarily agree with you on that one, because of course he has his cohorts in tow, and you never know when allegiances might fall apart. So that's why my pick, I think, would probably be somebody that doesn't have any sort of alliance at all and has nothing to lose by,
like this gentleman. Go!
All I gotta say, Stampede coming up, and I'm going in that battle royal, and I'm coming to fight. And whoever's in my path, you better be prepared to knuckle up.